Thanks for taking the time to join me on my channel, Niges View on Things. How you doing? How you keeping? Hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. Unfortunately, life gets in the way. Things change and priorities change, and one of those priorities was not making videos. A few weeks ago, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. I'm not actually saying that because I want your sympathy, and don't actually think I'm being rude when I say that. I'm just saying it's a fact of life. Something that has gone on in the background during this pandemic that is much bigger than the pandemic we've just faced. 28,000 people a day die from cancer. That's 10 million people a year. Me, myself, I'm a cancer survivor. But I think the figures that I've just quoted to you are very underestimated, and many, many more people die from that fact. But you didn't come here to listen to me whittle on, but I'm just explaining. Unfortunately, life does get in the way. The bit of footage we're going to be looking at is from the 24th of March 2022. That date was a Thursday, 39 minutes past the hour of 12 in the PM. 5 hours worth of footage condensed into 3 minutes. Basically what we're looking at is a time lapse. This is off one of the security cameras at work. The nice thing about it, the camera didn't move, and also the nice thing about digital cameras, it shows us everything. A lot of stuff that we can't see. What we're going to look at is an eclipse of our sun, or I believe to be. Let me clue those people in that don't know what I'm talking about. We have our sun, a great big yellow gas giant, 93 million miles away. No sun, no life. End of story, not going to discuss it. Also, there's a sun simulator. The purpose of that is to produce a lot of light. So when an object becomes between our sun and the earth, it will cause a shadow or cast a shadow. Closer to the sun, the bigger the shadow. They don't want you to see anything at all because that would give the game away. So with the sun simulator, what it does, it produces a large amount of light and brightens up our sky. In front of the sun simulator, there's a lens system. How can we actually prove that fact is actually there? Well, a very new effect that's been going on approximately 10 years. Ice crystals, those sun halos. Many people out there say what we're looking at is a reflection off the dome. If that was so, there would be many pictures throughout the ages, and there is not of that effect. Only in the last 10 years we've got to see some extremely complex lenses in the sky, which, yeah, you can say are ice crystals, or you can go, well, that is something that shouldn't be there on camera. So really, when we get a sun halo, what we're actually looking at is an eclipse of an object going past our sun, and everything is being taken over by the sun simulator, and we get that great big, yeah. But of course, what could possibly go wrong when you've got a light source and a lens system? Things start to heat up, but who am I to say? Also, many people think what we're looking at is a local sun. All intents and purposes, our sun is local. That's the fake one. The real one's behind it. Astronomically, compared to our sun, it's extremely close to the Earth. For me, that's how it all goes together. A little bit more complex than that, but just a general view. You might not actually agree with what I've just said. You might see things in a different light, and that's what makes the world go round. Anyway, back on with the video. A couple of points to be made before we start watching this video. Oh, come on, Nige. Very, very important points. This video was taken in Northampton, and we need to know what time the sun rises and sun sets. So on that day, the sun rose at 05:57 and it set at 18:24. So we can realistically say the sky really on that day should be getting dark, dimming approximately at 16:45. A very important point to be made now is what was the weather like on that particular day, and as we can see in the video, we've got a cloudless sky. It's very, very hazy over here, and it's blue over here. Not blue that I remember, it looks like a mirror blue. What people don't realise is when those jets go over and that water vapour comes out of that engine.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow you.
Follow me! Follow me! That's good, that's good. A nod's as good as a wink to a blind bat.
That contains aluminium particles, and other great substances that I'm sure when we breathe it in, it's doing us the world of good. But there's two effects that actually happen with aluminium particles. Firstly, we get this mirrored sky, what I call a mirrored sky. We can see it just there. Very hard to see anything in the background. You'd be very hard pushed. And also, we're looking at a great big one-way mirror in the sky. The other effect is you're not going to get rid of the heat. The heat that comes through there is going to be trapped in our atmosphere and it's going to warm things up. Just think about that very carefully. And we're being told a lie. As you can see, as time goes on, it's slowly getting dark. And that really shouldn't happen. It's 43 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. And it's getting darker and darker. Still blue skies over here. And our hazy sun and sun simulator over here. So right now what we've got is an object eclipsing our sun. If we could actually see that, there would be a sun halo, I'm sure. But the video doesn't really bring it out too well because the camera's just in one position. And as you can see, the sky is so white and bright, you're never going to see anything behind it. It's still blue over there. A cloudless sky to all intents and purposes. But you've got aluminium particles flying about in the sky. And as you can see, we got that lens flare moving this direction, which is quite funny because it actually looks like a lens moving in the opposite direction to the light source, so we know it's a lens flare. What we're going to see is two objects. I'm going to call them objects because they're moving with our sun. They're moving with the light source. And as we know, lens flares don't act like that. So really the question that needs to be asked, what are these two objects that are setting with our sun and sun simulator? Now the time is 4:42 and it is really dark. The camera would be fighting to get brightness into the picture because that's what cameras do. It will try and give you the best picture possible. You can see the colours and this is starting to pulsate. And down there in that puddle, if you rewind it, we get to see our sun and sun simulator flying by, and underneath that object we've got those two objects, and if you notice they're still going along with our sun and setting with it, so not lens flares. As we can see, the sky is pulsating and we've got this red, the red spinning planet, we've got the yellow which is our sun, and we've got the white which is our sun simulator. And the time now is 6 o'clock, 1800 hours, and things should be getting darker, not brighter. So really that doesn't make any sense because we know our sun sets at 1824. So really that shouldn't happen unless something's eclipsed our sun and made that happen. You could say what we're looking at is a camera abnormality. It may well be. But then you've got to take into account that we've got these two objects. As you can see, I've now zoomed in, adjusted the colour, contrast, brightness to bring out more definition. And you can see these objects that are travelling with our sun and sun simulator there in the background. And what you're going to notice that these two objects, not lens flares, they set behind the tree line, not in front of it. If they were lens flares, you would see the lens flare in front of the tree line. So for me this just proves that there is something there, and also explains the effect that we've just seen and has gone on. But there is going to be a part 2 to this that happens 2 days later. If you want to know more, make sure that you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I'm sure that YouTube will not notify you about the next video. Thanks very much YouTube. If you got this far, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video or videos. It's really appreciated. And just one more thing to add, I do believe that rainy day is coming very soon rather than later. There are many distractions going on in the world at the moment and it's changing day by day. Are you ready? I'm not saying the world's going to end, but things I do believe are going to get a bit messy. Anyway, that's all I've got for you now. Much love, much peace, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.